Welcome to the Zodiac chat line for our full moon in Cancer show. I'm your host today, and of course, I have Cassie here with me, always and forever. What's
Hey.
happening, girl? So, Cassie and I are going to shout out the hometown squad for being the number one NFC North champions this year. So, y'all better get it. Go ahead, Detroit. Lions. From what I understand, y'all, they're telling me they can win that Super Bowl. So I'm telling you what, the city will be litty titty all the way. Because not since Barry Sanders has anybody cared about the Detroit Lions.
It's a fact. Their 0-16 season got some attention for all the worst reasons. But what the it okay, there are many reasons why I want the Detroit Lions to win the Super Bowl, but not least of all, and it feels very Pluto and Aquarius to me, is that at least one of the online sports betting companies has said it will bankrupt them. So many people have bet on the Detroit Lions to win the Super Bowl that if they do, it will like bankrupt FanDuel. And I love that. I love that. I hope
Run
that
it. Run it. Run me my money. Because that's what I would say.
right.
Run that shit all the way up. For sure, for sure. So y'all, we have the Cancer full moon coming up. And we love that the Cancer is in her home, where she loves
Mhm.
where she loves to reside, where Cassie lives, where, I reluctantly
Moon in Cancer, Sun in Cancer, Mercury, Venus. Just give it all to me.
water, cram, 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 cram. I tell Cassie this all the time. If it wasn't for her, my emotional capacity for other humans would be zero. Uh,
It's
you know,
untrue. As a Cancer rising, we know this is.
I mean, yeah, you just, helped me. You were like, today you do have to care about therapy. I'm telling you, that will forever be my favorite one of the many conversations. But as you guys know, we are still in Capricorn season just for a little bit. So enjoying that because we already know what season's coming up. But for that, we have the full moon in Cancer. Mercury is enjoying itself in Capricorn, maybe, but I don't know if it's enjoying itself. I think it's just finding its way. So it'll
It's
be
existing.
it's there for the
Yeah.
next couple of weeks until it moves into a much more comfortable sign. Venus moved into Pisces on the 2nd of this year, so delusional love affairs abound. Mars is still, oh, I don't know, retrograding in Cancer, so it's still
Speaking of signs that are planets that are existing,
yeah.
doing that.
Along with
Mm.
Jupiter retrograding in Gemini, again, not a comfortable place for Gemini. Saturn's in Pisces again. Not supposed to be there. Uranus retrograde in Taurus again. Neptune
No.
in Pisces, that's, again, that dreamy, real,
Hmm.
real illusion. I would say, if anything we have seen, nothing is as it seems. That is, there is no concrete way we can define what we are watching right now. And of course, Pluto hanging out in Aquarius, continuing to not be in Capricorn for Capricorn season, but that upcoming Aquarius season.
Sunday, coming Sunday, January 19th. Get ready. Aquarius season is coming.
Ooh, y'all better leave us alone. Okay, and then so the retrograde planets we have are Mars, Jupiter, and Uranus. But one of the biggest transits that we want to talk about is, of course, the North Node, because here on the Zodiac chat line, we love talking about the North Node. And it
Mhm.
has been on the North Node has been in Aries, which would make the South Node in Libra for the past year and a half. This past Saturday on the 11th of January, it did switch and it is always retrograding, so it's always going to go backwards. So it is now North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo, which is our healer axis yet dreamer, planner access, all of those very much things. Mutable, lots of mutable energy. So we went from cardinal, very, very strong cardinal energy to some hippie. Like that gives me like very hippie vibes.
100%. We've talked about this before too, where the cusp between Aries and Pisces is the most complicated one because Aries begins the zodiac and Pisces ends it. And the vibes could not be more different. Like every pairing that's right next to each other in the zodiac, they don't share a quality and they don't share an element. So they're going to be very different. But there are some like Capricorn Aquarius where the vibes kind of vibe together. You know what I mean? And there are others like Pisces Aries that are just not in the same uh, region at all. And I don't
It's the old man and the baby,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
like, and it's
Old lady and the
I'm
baby.
sorry, you're right. The old crone and the baby.
Mm-hmm.
It is considered the cusp of rebirth, which you understand because Pisces is such an elevated version of humanity, like more on a spiritual realm, not even like a realm. And Aries is literally the first existence of some type of soul energy.
Mm-hmm. Aries is the ego and Pisces is the spirit.
Mm.
And the two things are not close to each other. And, you know, especially with Pluto and Aquarius too for this whole Pisces North Node transit, I think people are going to yeah, I think we're, we have the chance to liberate ourselves spiritually in some ways,
Mhm.
but we also have a danger of becoming incredibly deluded. Um, and
Highly
just make
critical.
yeah, make sure you're touching grass, people.
Yeah.
Like don't I would say especially, with all the changes that have come in social media, um try and not be on social media all the time because it was never real life. It's not the same as real life. It never was. And it's getting further away from it. And like to the extent that you need social media to connect with people, I know like there have been ableist critiques of saying like we need to be completely off social media because there are some people who like can't leave their house comfortably and I totally get that. And connecting with people you actually know or knew at one point in real life, very different than thinking people you've never met on the internet are the only like important connections that exist. So just like be mindful of that because the tech bros are puppet mastering things in ways that are not great. So that's my
Yeah,
soapbox on
I
that.
would say using the node switch into Pisces and Virgo is finding ways of being of service to
Mm,
yourself, but especially to others, and
mm-hmm,
especially within your direct community.
mm-hmm,
Because everything that happens in the next our next couple of lifetimes, next couple of not even just beyond 4 years. Like I know everybody's thinking like, okay, I have to make it 4 years, but truthfully, beyond 4 years, there has to be some sort of community evolution. I think social media has allowed us to be very selfish. I think it has allowed us to be very like um, unrealistic. And we were just talking about this the other day at work, how people are, I call them keyboard warriors because back in the day, you got something to say, go say it. But the fact that you're hiding behind a keyboard and you're criticizing people for whatever, and then people go and look at your page and they're like, "Ma'am, sir, you." Why? That, like Cassie said, that stuff's not real. How are you helping your community? Is there a single mother that needs help? Is there an old elderly person that needs somebody to help them with groceries? Is there somebody that is disabled in some sort of way that needs somebody to talk to? I mean, there are a lot of ways that we as humans can really connect with other people, and it's still not really like hurt us by doing that. You know what I mean? It's not taking away. And that's, I
Hmm.
think, the biggest thing that I understand about a collective is that my well-being, what I deserve, what happens to me, isn't necessarily gonna hurt anybody else as long as if I'm reaching out and giving of myself. So I, I really encourage you guys to like have some sort of spiritual evolution. And everything you read is not real, everything you see is not real, but you know that you can connect with a person on another soul level, and that existence is very, very real. And you know, if you know, and it's, like Cassie said, just touch some grass. Try and be in tune with other things other than your phone. Like what those of us that grew up with dial up, okay, flip phones and a dial tone. See,
Answering machines
some of y'all don't
with
even know what I'm talking about.
tapes,
That you
small
had to grow up.
tapes in them.
Some of y'all don't even know what I'm talking. Some of y'all don't even know what a cassette tape is or what an MP3 player was. A Zune. Anybody know what Zune is?
Oh my goodness. It's real.
Burning CDs, trying to record off of the radio. I'm just saying, there are that we survived, okay? So we
Hmm.
could survive. And, you know, I mean, I think we all understand that the pandemic of 2020 really just changed the landscape of how we interact and communicate with each other. And I'm not saying to go all out and just be out in the streets with everybody, but there is a way to build a small collective community. I was just having a conversation with my friend today, and she has been very remote and said that she was like, I'm really needing some more connection. And I get that.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm like, forget people, but I know that's not healthy. So I make an effort, okay, to be out in these
Hmm.
out with these humans, but
No, it's important. And there was a very interesting article that was published recently by the outgoing Surgeon General of the United States. And he said now this is the Surgeon General, okay? So this is like the people who warn us not to smoke cigarettes or drink too much alcohol and like usually have very practical health advice. But he said what is plaguing us in the United States is loneliness, is lack of connection and lack of empathy, and that what the
mm,
remedies are relationships, service, and purpose. And that is the best of the Virgo Pisces axis, I think, is being able to connect with people on a soul level. That's very Pisces energy. Imagining the world you want to see, very Pisces energy. And though we need to, you know, the North Node is what we're moving toward. The South Node is what we need to kind of move away from, or I should say, evolve from.
mm,
And so we need to evolve from being hypercritical, the worst of Virgo energy, the hypercritical, the like constant negativity you see online, the constant gotchaism, well, how can you say this if you did this? Or I scrolled back to your posts from 2008 and you said this. Like, leave that behind. But the best of Virgo is being of service. And it doesn't have to take over your whole life. You don't have to spend 20 hours a week volunteering at 8 different places. There are very small ways that you can be of service, like you said, in a way that doesn't harm you, that actually it can be mutually beneficial. And I think it's not unique to the United States, but we certainly have this pervasive idea that for things to be better for me, they have to be worse for someone else. And it's not true. It's just not true. There
at
are
all.
ways that we can grow joy together, we can grow community together. There are many things that are mutually beneficial if only we give it a whirl. But money, chasing titles, chasing clout, those things don't tend to be mutually beneficial. And frankly, they don't even tend to be singularly beneficial. It's a very short term benefit. So, like, let's just not focus on those things.
And you think about the people who are giving you the clout, like they don't have anything else better to do. But I will say, before we move on from this, the one thing that I appreciated, I went to an all-girls Catholic high school. I will not say the name, but people know.
If you know, you
But
know.
yeah, but I will say the best thing about one of the best things about that was that community service was built into our curriculum. And so once a week on Tuesdays, for our, I think it was from, it was the high school. So it was a freshman, sophomore, junior. And you got to kind of pick what you wanted to do, whether it be, I picked a daycare because I'm a big kid, but you could pick like Focus Hope, food for
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And it was only, I think it was maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours out of our day, but it was part of our curriculum. And that allowed me to really appreciate and understand what community service was all about. And I wasn't the wealthiest kid in my school, but there were a lot of other wealthier kids, and I felt like that was a good way for those who may have never volunteered or done anything with community service or even understood how that service helps people in need, would have ever come in contact.
Yeah.
So, on that note, I would encourage you for, especially for the rest of this Capricorn season, going into Aquarius season, because to really look at your community and how you want to find your purpose within that community. And it doesn't have to be large. Like what we're saying is that a small step is still a step. And on that note, we listen, I told Cassie this and I'm telling all my business. I love me some Capricorn women. Okay. Capricorn men, I love them too, but they love me a lot, which
That's true.
that's something about me. They be like, "Ooh, girl." I was like, "I know, right?"
Uh,
But Capricorn women, I love y'all. I really do. Like, so we are gonna do some celebrity check-ins with Capricorns, and I'm gonna let Cassie go first because hers are so juicy and good.
okay, so my evergreen Capricorn celebrity check-in, if any of you recall a Capricorn season show before this, I have checked in with her every time, I think. And this she is a goat female rapper. That's a pun because of Capricorn sea goats. From Clayton County, Georgia. An absolute just, you know, sensation. Big Lotto. I love her. I think she's makes great music. She's always making music. Like she is somebody whose creative output just keeps coming. And as a creative person myself, I can imagine how difficult that would be because I'm like a fits and starts type of creative person. And you hear some um music artists, especially because they tend to write their life into their music, talk about like not feeling it for a while. She's just like always grinding, always on it. um I love how she can fit in on any feature. Like she just, I was listening to a track. She does an FNF remix with Glorilla, and the girl JT is on that track too. That's a good one. But like, they, she's great. I just fucking love her. She has a charity for single moms in Clayton County in South Atlanta and their kids. And um I when her song Brokey came out, there was like, she got not really put like backlash on the internet, but like a little bit of it where people were talking about I'm that Brokey, and it's sort of me singing along with Brokey, even though I know I can't go out of town on my birthday or whatever. And I made a point to say I'm not trying to dog hardworking people that are struggling, and like here's this contest, anybody who can make the best video to Brokey, I'm gonna give you $10,000 because I know it's hard out here or whatever. And I just fucking love Lotto,
The
and she's
Waffle
so
House employee
cute.
one.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that
After
and
she
she
got
kept
fired for
right.
making the video. Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
you corporations.
yeah. So Lotto, you're always invited to the marriage. My husband is on board with this.
Oh, I know he
And
is.
and yeah, I wish just continued
Yeah.
success for her, and she will get it because she's a goat.
Yes. Okay. Great. Cassie always be coming through. If you don't know Cassie, Cassie love a good female rapper. So
It's true. It's true.
my my first Capricorn is one Oscar away from the EGOT. So she does have an Emmy, a Grammy, and a Tony. She did win the Tony for Best Actress in a Musical, The Color Purple. Currently, she is all over because she played Elphaba in Wicked. Of course, that is Cynthia Erivo. She also played Harriet Tubman and Aretha Franklin in Genius. I think that lady can just sing.
Oh
That
my
is just
gosh.
like every time, whether it's and that was I did watch Wicked, and that was so impressive for both of them because Cancer, Ariana Grande, that girl can sing too. But Cynthia Erivo just embodied this character and the voice, and everybody's comparing all of these different alphabets. Like, of course, Indina Menzel was the original, but it's like Cynthia Erivo literally makes everything her own. Her nails are always just styling. Her fashion sense is beyond, and that lady is rocking a bald head better than anybody I've ever seen. Like, yes, ma'am.
Facts on facts on facts.
Cynthia, girl, in case you know, I'm down. I mean, I know you got a lot going
I'm
on, girl.
down.
I ain't trying to tell your business or nothing, but girl, hey, okay. Okay, girl, who next for you?
Wait, backing up a little bit. I did not realize she was just an Oscar away from an EGOT. That is sick. What did
She
she
was
win an Emmy for?
the Emmy, all of it was for The Color Purple. Hmm.
Oh,
And
huh.
that was in 2015, which
Yeah.
seems like a century ago, but and watching her evolve, but I mean there are talks about the Oscar nod for this.
I
But
wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
is, there's been a lot of great films, so I don't know. We'll see what happens because I did, I think what the Emmys or the Golden Globes, one of those just happened, and I think
Mm-hmm.
like Zoe Saldana won one, and like Angelina Jolie. So I think she is up against some stiff competition, but I mean
Yeah.
she can sing whatever. I am glad that she has been in theater. If I've seen her do other renditions and just her voice alone. There was a clip of her and Graham Norton and she sang the Aretha thing, and
Mm,
I mean you just watch people when she's singing, and like that's the type of like um singer and artist I love, was like that God is speaking through their voice. They are like
mm-hmm.
you're connecting in that middle space of singer and listener, but it's like so
Yeah.
powerful, and Cynthia has that. She is captivating. That is a
Yeah.
captivating Capricorn, Miss Cynthia
Mm-hmm.
Erivo. Hmm.
Absolutely. Um, so my second Capricorn celebrity is our first lady, our maybe the only one of our lifetimes, and that is Michelle Obama. Um, best-selling author, philanthropist, attorney, and just the fucking best. So I was gonna talk about Justin Trudeau, and that's a crazy situation, and he's a Capricorn too. But I went back to Michelle Obama after seeing that she did not go to Jimmy Carter's funeral, and I love that for her because she said, "I'm not fucking dealing with this. I'm not gonna have to shake hands with Laura Bush and Mike Pence and Melania. I'm not doing that." And I fucking love her for that. Like I I just feel like she has stayed in the public eye since now 2006, almost 20 years. She gives less fucks every single year. She looks better somehow every single year. She's been gorgeous, but like
It's
it's
less fucks.
crazy how good. Yeah, once she's relieved of fucks, she becomes even more just gorgeous and like she's we didn't deserve her.
Mm.
We still don't. Um but she's still giving
Mhm.
to the the communities that she is connected to, that she cares about. And what is she is not one of those is not politically connected people.
Mm-mm.
Like every single year it's like Michelle Obama should run for president. Michelle Obama's like, bitch, I'm not doing that.
Mm-mm.
I
I'm
don't
gonna keep
want
making
to do that.
Netflix reality shows because that Later Daters was awesome, but like
I've not seen that. Um
so good.
so
We
Michelle
love
Obama
her.
forever, my first lady.
So, okay, quickly, my last person, because I have stanned this person for decades. I will call it a decade. And Cassie knows
It's
when this
true.
lovely human was on YouTube, okay? Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl, if you know you Ratchet Peace Theater. That's what it was called. Girl, I could not I do now. Anyway, of course, she had Insecure on HBO. She is the owner of Hooray Media. She's also the owner of Hilltop Coffee and Restaurant because what she's giving back to her what community in Inglewood. Thank you. Yes, of course she is. Actress, writer, director, producer. New movie coming out with some of my favorites, SZA and Keke Palmer. Just one of them days. I, of course, am talking about the amazing, incomparable Issa Rae, who just turned 40 this year. So, girl, moguls like you are what dreams are made of.
Mm, mm.
That's how I
Yes,
understand that because I'll talk about her every like Lotto is hers, Issa Rae is mine, every Capricorn
it's
season.
true. Hmm. And
But
she deserves it every Capricorn season.
every single one. Um, and we'll just, a quick little honorable mention of Blue Ivy because girl, we see you too. But we want you to know that the chat line is still live, hot, ready to go. 313-416-9541. That is 313-416 9541. Cassie, tell these folks about this newsletter we got going on.
So we have a newsletter, you guys, and we'll link it out, put it in the show notes, if you want to come over and subscribe. But every week on Monday morning, you get a nice little note to your inbox that breaks down the major planetary transits of the week, plus gives a horoscope for your rising sign. And no, we're not just making them up. Okay, we actually look at where the planets are and where they're moving against your rising sign and determine what areas of your life might be feeling all of that planetary energy. And it's yours for free. And there's no ads on there because we don't have sponsors like that yet. Okay? And you know, it's just a fun, nice way to start your week, get a sense of what's going on, what kind of fuckery you might run into.
It's less than a
Boom.
5 minute read. It's worth it. Trust me.
Thank you.
And with that, we are moving to, of course, oh, we're going to get it together because it is the Cancer full moon, and Yasmin Boland has the best Moonology Oracle cards. That's what we are doing. Look at the back. Oh, but look at the front.
So pretty.
So these oracle cards have full moon, new moon, quarter moons, um blue moons, I think
All the
yeah,
signs.
all the different ones. So it's different than the other deck. It kind of gives a great kind of message and energy for what is going on. We just want to thank you for moving along with us, whatever we try and do. You're always going to hear our voices, just maybe however we decide to do it. So, magical Cancer friend who I love so much, who has always pulled the right card. Oh, look, she's like, Tanae, are you done talking? Okay, whenever you're ready, go.
Boom.
You see that, y'all? She said, almost felt it. Ooh, of course. Of course, of course. Your dreams need a practical plan. Full moon in Taurus.
Ah! Okay. All right. All right.
I love that we hit a full moon. I think that that is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do-do-do-do,
And the moon is exalted in Taurus. So this is a very, I feel like a very fortuitous card to
of
receive.
course, because that's Cassie, as I tell you guys every week. All
Hmm.
right. I'm gonna hold this down because I can't read. Okay. Sometimes you need to weave a bit of magic, and sometimes you need to be practical, and sometimes you need to find the combination of the two. This card suggests that this is where you are now. You need to use the laws of attraction to draw in what you want by imagining it, expecting it, welcoming it. But you need to balance that with taking down to earth steps towards your goals. This isn't about wishing on the moon and hoping for the best. It's about making something like a list of bullet points about how to achieve your dreams. If you're asking about money, this card heralds a change of financial fortunes depending on both your past actions and what you're expecting and therefore attracting. Attuned to the moon, write down 10 things you know I'm sorry, write down 10 things that you know are wonderful about you. I like that one. Additional meanings for this card. Laziness can explain your current situation. If so, change that and own it. Chasing money doesn't work. Chase a dream. Jealousy or envy can create negative energy and attract negativity. More exercise is called for. Don't tell me what to do. Teaching. The teaching, the full moon in Taurus is a time to get back to earth, to get grounded, to work through any negative feelings you've been dealing with, and to find a balance between being passionate and being overly intense. Money issues may come to a head at the time of the full moon in Taurus, but you can take this card as a sign to pay more attention to your cash flow no matter when you draw it. I find it so interesting that we had an Earth full moon card, and it still talked about our entire conversation about dreaming and the practicality.
Right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But when you think about it, like the Taurus, sorry, the Pisces Virgo axis, somewhere in the middle of that is like a Taurus type energy. The sort of best of both of those worlds.
To ground, to fix it in something, because both of those are very mutable, and we know
Hmm.
mutable water
Where even is she?
doesn't know. Um, so I like that. I think that was great. Um, touching, going outside. I think getting exercise, especially with the weather changing. I mean, it's still, cold, or also to everybody in LA, our thoughts and prayers are with you. I just don't think there's any words for us just kind of watching the world burn. It's just a very uh uncomfortable and strange feeling. But anybody that has lost their home, we are sending you so much love, because this is not an easy time, and that's never easy, but this is just, there's a massive amount of people who are now have lost all of their possessions. And so, again, community, service to others. How can we service our community? That's part of your community too. And with that said, go Lions!
Whoop, whoop.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. But we will see you in a couple weeks for one of the two best seasons, because that's what we're gonna say on the show. It's all they're both number one in our minds, but we know Aquarius season about to be lit. I'm excited. But we'll see you in a couple weeks for Aquarius season. Cassie, I love you, girl.
I love
And forever, my Detroit sister. To y'all listening and watching us out there, we thank you. Go check out the newsletter. Hit us up. We're always around because we're gonna keep doing this. But it's all love. We out of here because what?
it. Peace.
So